rappers. Snoop Dogg. By the mid-2000s, Snoop Dogg was already a global icon, but that didn't stop him from running into serious trouble overseas. In May 2006, things went left fast at London's Heathrow Airport. After Snoop and his crew were denied entry into the British Airways first-class lounge, tensions flared and a full-on brawl broke out.
I am riding with you.
Okay, then when we talk, when we moving. Don't be sitting back there kissing their trying to be friends with them.
I'm not there. I'm trying to help somebody.
You ain't helping by being friends with them. Hey. What are y'all doing?
By the time it was over, 7 police officers had minor injuries, one of them with a fractured hand. Snoop spent the night locked up and later accepted a police caution for using threatening words or behavior. British authorities didn't treat the incident lightly. They pointed to Snoop's past drug and firearm charges in the US and used that history as justification to ban him from re-entering the UK. And that was just the beginning of his international issues.
They had me banned from here for a minute while I wasn't able to come through the UK, and that was upsetting to me.
You were coming through with Diddy at one stage.
Yeah, me and Puff had.
That's right.
Had shows set up. We was on tour together, and they wouldn't let me in.
Less than a year later, in April 2007, Australia followed suit. Just days before Snoop was supposed to co-host the MTV Australia Video Music Awards, the country abruptly canceled his visa. Immigration Minister Kevin Andrews made it crystal clear why, saying Snoop Dogg didn't pass Australia's character test and bluntly adding that he wasn't the sort of bloke we want in this country. The pattern continued in June 2012, this time in Norway, when Snoop landed in Kjevik Airport. Drug-sniffing dogs flagged his luggage. Inside, authorities found 8 grams of marijuana along with more cash than legally allowed. The result was an $8,600 fine and a 2-year ban from Norway. Still, Snoop took it in stride. His lawyer, Holger Hagesaeter, said Snoop can live with the decision, and the rapper went on to perform at the Hove Festival later that same week anyway. MF Doom. His story was quieter, but in many ways even more tragic. Born Daniel Dumoulin in Hounslow, London in 1971, Doom moved to the US with his family when he was just a month old and grew up in Long Beach, New York. America was all he knew. He built an underground rap legacy there, becoming one of the most respected and influential artists in hip-hop history. But legally, he was never fully American.
Claim responsibility. Broken household name usually set in hostility.
Despite living in the US almost his entire life, Doom never secured citizenship. In 2004, he tried to fix his immigration status through a law meant for long-term residents who arrived there before 1972. He submitted school report cards and proof that he'd lived in the country his whole life. The government, however, demanded utility bills and bank records from when he was an infant, documents that obviously didn't exist. His application was denied, and worse, he wasn't even allowed to appeal the decision. The consequences didn't hit until 2010. After finishing a European tour for his album Born Like This, Doom tried to fly back to the US. That's when an immigration official denied him re-entry. Doom later said the officer seemed like the type who wanted to see just how many people she could make have a bad day. Suddenly, Doom was exiled. Separated from his wife and children for nearly 2 years, he was forced to settle in South London. He poured that frustration into his music, especially on the track Banished, where he rapped, "Villain got banished, refused out the US, he ain't even Spanish." Eventually, Doom accepted it. Later, he told Q magazine that he was done with the US and said he loved the UK's relaxed culture, especially being able to drink outside without worrying about getting arrested. Late 1990s, early 2000s. Jay-Z. By October 2006, Jay-Z was already a global powerhouse and was set to make history with his first ever performance in Shanghai at Hongkou Stadium. It should have been a huge moment, not just for him, but for hip-hop as a whole. Instead, with less than 2 weeks' notice, the Chinese Ministry of Culture shut the whole thing down. The official explanation came through the state-run Shanghai Daily, which said the government needed to protect young people from Jay-Z's so-called nasty lyrics. Officials were uncomfortable with the street storytelling. References to drug dealers, pimps, guns, and violence were all flagged as inappropriate. Promoter Sun Yun later confirmed that the ministry simply found the language too vulgar for public consumption. What made the situation even more ironic was who was allowed into the country. That same year, the Black Eyed Peas performed in Beijing and Shanghai without issue, despite their own suggestive content. Even the Rolling Stones had played just months earlier, as long as they agreed to cut tracks like Brown Sugar and Honky Tonk Women from their set lists. Jay-Z, meanwhile, wasn't offered edits or compromises. He was just shut out. Still, Hove didn't throw a tantrum. He took the setback in stride and posted a calm response on the Rockefeller website, saying he looked forward to rescheduling and that the world tour had been life-changing thanks to the fans. While Jay-Z the performer remained blocked from China, Jay-Z the businessman found a way in anyway. By 2009, Rocawear had successfully expanded into Chinese markets. 50 Cent. In November 2005, 50 Cent ran headfirst into politics while preparing for a Canadian tour. Toronto Member of Parliament Dan McTeague went public with his mission to have the Queen's rapper banned outright. His argument was that 50's gun-toting image was dangerous for a city already dealing with a sharp rise in firearm violence.
Music rapper 50 Cent is known as Fitty, and while I found some people who say his gangsta rap is misinterpreted, a Liberal MP says it stirs up gun violence.
Authorities pointing to 50's past as justification, his 1994 conviction for selling crack, and the infamous 2000 shooting where he was hit multiple times during a dispute tied to drug kingpin Kenneth Supreme McGriff. The tension was heightened by tragic memory. When 50 last performed in Toronto in 2003, a 24-year-old college student named Msamaji Granger was shot and killed just outside the venue.
This particular individual was in Canada. An individual was murdered outside of the Molson Amphitheater. Another one almost lost his life.
Eventually, 50 Cent was granted a temporary resident permit, allowing him to perform, but his G-Unit crew didn't get the same treatment. Tony Yayo and Young Buck were denied entry due to their own criminal records and left stranded at the border. When 50 hit the stage at Toronto's Ricoh Coliseum, he leaned into the controversy. He flipped off politicians from the mic, mocking them for protecting fans from his entourage. He even joked about what officials thought someone like Olivia, G-Unit's female singer, was going to do to the country. Despite the theatrics, Canadian authorities took no chances. Fans were forced through extreme security screenings, standing in freezing temperatures just to get inside. It felt like a standoff between hip-hop culture and a government desperate to get control of what they called a violent summer of the gun. The Game. On April 20th, 2011, The Game arrived at the Canadian border expecting to kick off a run of shows in Nova Scotia. Instead of lighting up the stage, he was pulled aside and detained for hours. Canadian officials flagged him as criminally inadmissible, citing his long-standing ties to the Bloods gang. They pointed directly to his lyrics as proof that he shouldn't be allowed into the country. While stuck in limbo, The Game took to Twitter, saying promoters had assured him everything was clear. At one point, he posted, "Patience is a virtue, but things only got worse from there." He later claimed officials threatened to lock him in a cage for up to 14 days while they processed his records, despite regulations requiring a hearing within 48 hours. Eventually, he was forced to hand over his phone and personal belongings and was deported back to the U.S.
I love Canada. I can't even get into Canada.